Underrated. Now FR, you are so underrated. You're so talented. Your account is really underrated. Underrated, sure. This is so underrated. Underrated. This is underrated as so underrated. Subscribe. This is so underrated. Oh my god. You're so underrated. Sad face.
Hey lovelies, my name is Kandan Kami. I'm a character designer, illustrator, and wannabe mangaka. Welcome back to my channel. So I've been hearing people say that all throughout my artist journey and my artist career that, oh, you're an underrated artist. Oh, why don't you have any more likes? And I guess that makes sense to people who haven't followed me for too long. When they see my page, they're like, damn, no one knows about this artist. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, I can only really blame myself. Okay, maybe not blame fully myself because algorithms are kind of ass, but I would say that I failed to really put myself out there. And I guess if you watched the last video, that makes sense and how you see my mentality already and how I treat my art. I actually wanted to make this a short, but I stopped myself because I really wanted to make sure I believed what I was saying. Here's a clip from the unfinished video.
Someone who finds comfort and peace in solitude. I prefer taking my time, having my space, and doing things my way. I'm not interested in chasing trends or seeking the spotlight, and sometimes I just want to vibe. Not every artist is chasing clout, and some of us just want to find a genuine connection and a community.
I'm still unsure about that statement because at the time of recording, it was when my character design video blew up. And then I started to do the opposite of what I said in that video. So I had to really sit down with myself through the months because I recorded that back in I would say either September or through the fall to winter last year. So let's dig together and see if that's true. Here are the reasons why I think I'm an underrated artist. In my last video, we talked about how I struggled to fully commit to stories due to my perfectionism and my low self-esteem, and I kind of expected to be overlooked, so I reasoned in my head that the only way I'd be noticed is if I proved my art and storytelling abilities. So what did you think I was doing since then? Well, improving. From my point of view, if you expect to be overlooked, all you really can do is focus on your craft. So that's what I was doing. It was just playing with colors, I was making complicated pieces. I was just having fun with drawing and social media. My account was just for me and my small audience that I built up over time. In a sense, even though I was hypercritical of my art, I was more free than ever to experiment with it, and I did that for years. I felt like I achieved artistic freedom, but I failed at being a social media artist. And this is the reason why I failed. My art wasn't consistent. Imagine you find a fan art that you really like of a game. You're like, ooh, this art is amazing. Let me check the artist's page. Maybe they have more. What do you see? Pokemon art. Is that a dog girl? Robots? Mary Jane? Yeah. So people on the internet and social media in general like consistency and want a theme or topic to their art. When you're just posting whatever, even if it's good, there's a less of a desire for them to come back to your page. There also wasn't much substance to my art too. Don't get me wrong, my art was improving technique-wise, but it just looked good. So there was something that my art teacher said, my high school art teacher actually. It still rings true to me today. She said that art isn't just a pretty picture, it's a form of self-expression. And for me, I was just constantly posting pretty pictures. Your art is supposed to convey something of value, either emotional or critical, and mine was just shiny and pretty and it didn't speak to people. So yeah, I had no visual language / voice in my art, and my art style was inconsistent. Do I really regret it? Surprisingly, no. I know it's weird because I was saying that I've been very hypercritical of my art during that time, but I had a lot of fun and I just felt more free. I'm proud that my art range is bigger than what it seems. And also, at the time I was really young, so I feel like a lot of younger artists nowadays feel the pressure of meeting their audience's expectation and don't have fun drawing. Like if you're beginning to draw, why do you care about likes? Why do you care about being online and being seen and getting popular? That's not important. Important is your relationship with your art. And if you're not taking care of that and just focusing on likes, it becomes a very unhealthy toxic cycle and you start to get disappointed. So once I let that go, I was able to just be in love with art again. I was in love with art. I was just having fun. I feel like it was more important that I developed my art style during that time than caring about likes. The second reason why I feel like I failed as a social media artist was because I wasn't posting consistently. Like that's one of the biggest rules in marketing, and I failed at that. My whole social media journey started in middle school to now, so in between, guess what happened? Life. And it constantly got in the way of things. I mean, back then I didn't even have a stable device to even post on all the time. I was hopping between my father's laptop, my mom's phone, my sister's iPad, and so on. So things were always unstable. Sometimes my mutuals would see me and they would talk to me, and then I'm gone for like 3 more months. It was just how it was back then. And my engagement and reach would always go down, and then I I would have to start the process all over again. So I just kind of got used to that being the case. Third reason, I didn't socialize on social media. I know, it's crazy. You have to be social on social media? Well, yeah, that's how algorithms are designed, and it's gotten a lot worse throughout the years. Nowadays, you gotta be on the app all the time to just keep your reach. And if you aren't on there as consistent as they want you to be, it starts to drop. Okay, so I just want to know if other introverts feel this way. But do you guys get burnt out by socializing? Like online, I mean. Because I've heard introverts say that they feel so free being on social media or online, and it doesn't matter to them, but it doesn't matter to me. If I'm socializing with anyone, no matter if I can see them or not, I'm getting drained. So I don't even enjoy being on like Discord for that long either. It's just that like it's not that I don't like talking to people, it's just that I put so much energy into talking to people. Like, I'm giving you my everything. I'm paying attention to you, I'm listening to all your details, and by the end of it, I am completely drained. So I prefer honestly to be off of social media if I can. Anyway, back then what I would just do is I would just post and, you know, maybe interact with my mutuals here and there, and then I would dip. I would just post art and dip. I had no interest in talking about other stuff, and I mean, Twitter even took me so long to get used to because I wasn't used to just rambling about myself. Like, surprisingly, social media helps you network and create connections too, which, you know, I just didn't value that at the time. So honestly, and I'm just type of person who just likes deeper connection. I feel like social media is very like surface level, I would say, unless you wanted to make it deep. There is some posts, of course, that go into deeper topics, but though, especially Twitter, you're gonna just ramble about the most surface level shit. Maybe here and there you have a deep moment, but you're not always talking about deep conversations every second. Maybe, I don't know, because it depends on the account, but you get what I mean. So I think I realized too late and undervalued how much socializing can help you get seen. So yeah, if I was more social, I definitely would have been seen more. So those are the three reasons. I had an inconsistent art style, I wasn't social, and I was inconsistent in post. I think those are the main reasons why. Also, here's a third one. I didn't even think about this. I wasn't doing trending topics. I wasn't doing anything that was trending. I drew fan art here and there, but I wasn't like consistently posting fan art, whatever. I mostly was an OC artist. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, inconsistent posting, inconsistent art, and not socializing, and because I wasn't really posting that much trendy art. So I think all that together really screwed me over throughout the years. But let's talk about my identity crisis, because of course I woke up one day. I woke up and said, you know what? It's time that I stop feeling this way, or it's time that I stop being in this position. I'm gonna talk about my identity crisis because at one point I just started getting frustrated in that position, and I'm mostly going to talk about Instagram because I feel like I was an Instagram artist for a majority of my like social media artist career. But I remember I was at 300 followers for like 5 or 6 years. Like, you don't know if you never been in the trenches of being stuck at a falling couch that you can't escape from, or you at the time didn't know how to escape from. And by that point, I wasn't even bad at art. I really wasn't. I think that I just didn't know. I wasn't doing the things that I need to do. So even though I lowered my expectations about being popular, a popular artist, the desire to be seen didn't go away. It was just repressed, and I reasoned it by undervaluing myself. So between those periods and that time, I know I said I didn't do trending art that much, but I did do trending art here and there, and I would see how people would react. Sometimes a fan art would pop off and I would draw a couple more pieces, and then those periods would never last because I would always go back to drawing art that I wanted to draw. As I said in the last video, I eventually improved my art so much that it didn't even make any sense anymore, and I just like started questioning everything. Like, in the back of my head I was like, am I really putting 100% effort into be seen? So things had to change. My exploration into marketing. So in 2022 I was doing career shifts, and I wanted to do something that I was more passionate about, and marketing made sense to me. I always been fascinated by it, and it was like the perfect blend of creativity and research that fit my skill set. I'm kind of a logic brain and creative brain combined. Also during that time I was getting more serious about Grimlord, my comic project. I call it comic project because I still need to make a story out of it, but I started getting more serious about it. Like, I was making the characters more interesting, the world was becoming bigger, and it was something that I really could see doing in the long term. So I was like, I started making a lot of content around the story, and I wanted people to get interested into it. So while studying marketing, I started to use my social media page as an experiment. I was taking social media marketing courses, I was studying algorithms, and I was consistently posting on that account. Then Instagram Reels became a thing, and I started to make animatics from those, and my page started to blow up all of a sudden. Like, people started to pay attention to it. And that year I went from 300 to 2,000, I think, 2,000 followers, and I was like the most followers I've ever reached switched during that time. And my plan was working. Like, people were getting interested in my characters and they wanted me to even tell my story. Like, the plan was, I was doing what I was doing. I was marketing. If I kept going, I probably would have been bigger than I am now. So you're probably wondering what happened. Well, I abandoned the account. And there's a reason for it because, well, there's several reasons for it. But one of them was because I was getting overwhelmed and burnt out by producing the same content over and over again. Like, I started to create those animatics and I would always, like, I would have a deadline for them. The most creative ones wouldn't get as popular because I like to experiment. So I was doing some creative ones. You saw those creative ones. And then I would do, like, the funny ones. And the funny ones would always be more successful than the creative ones. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And coupled with the Instagram algorithm being more demanding, it was requiring me to only post reels to be seen. I was getting tired. I think the moment that changed everything for me on that account was like I had like a family emergency and I had to leave Instagram for a couple weeks or so. Came back, my views dropped, of course. And then I wasn't even like sad about it. I was like, oh god, of course. And I was just exhausted with just everything in life and social media. It was like I was running on a hamster wheel and I was starting to miss the days where I just posted whatever and didn't really care. So I just left the internet to focus on my personal life. And that was like in 2023, I think. And I didn't come back officially until 2024. And even then, I wasn't active on my new account until like around December, I would say, like officially. So between the gap of my old account and starting content, I was actually becoming more invested in marketing. Like, I didn't hate marketing, even if like it was consuming my art account. Like, I still enjoyed doing marketing and I wanted to use those skills somewhere else. So I started to do internships and volunteer. And I learned so much about marketing and the strategies and how to organize content, etc. But I believe that's where like my mind split. Like, because think of this. Now I understood like what makes it appealing content. What is interesting to the viewer and why they latch onto it. And then of course my background is being an artist. You know, I have this artist brain and I love the freedom to create whatever I want. So now I had a dilemma that I needed to figure out. Yeah, the problems continued to persist. So from 2024 to this year was the year of Kantan. But sadly, I feel like Kantan 0.1, 0.1, 1.0, I don't know, began to become like my old account. The original plan of Kantan was to be a personality based, like you see what I'm doing now, but I was still, when I made Kantan, I didn't have a following. I was starting fresh. So I was like, I have some old Instagram ideas that I couldn't do on my old account because everyone liked the animatics, but I could try it in Kantan. So I had this idea of, you know, it was going to be more complicated. It was going to be almost like a video game, and I was going to pick all my old OCs and I was going to redesign them, and I would judge the leveling up system, and it'll be kind of like a gacha game. If you guys are wondering why there's a book at the end, I wanted to be kind of like a gacha game where like you get a new character, and I was like, that'd be fine, let's do that. And I did my first redesign series with Amelia, and I was expecting it to be overlooked too. I didn't expect it to be so big, and it blew up, and I was like, oh. So I was like, all right, let's just do some more of that, because why not, right? And then, sadly, I would say I put myself in the same cycle I did with the animatics. Just because you get big numbers shouldn't mean you should take the bait of consistently doing it if you're an artist like me. But I did. So over time, that too became monotonous, because I had to come up with original design every week, or a design that was interesting enough to the audience could be like, ooh, that's so much better than the older design. I would have to come up with a whole different backstory. I would have to write a script, you know, and I would have to make lore for a story that I know I wasn't fully going to commit to, because during that time I was ready knee deep into 2 other big stories, and I really did not want to abandon those. So that was frustrating for me, I feel like. And yeah, I was continuing to do that for months and months. And it's not like I hated the redesign series either. I just became exhausted with it. Like, it's the same thing as you're starting to notice when I'm consistently forced to make the same thing over and over again without any flexibility. Like, I start to burn out. And you could see that with the redesign series. Like, you could see that I was trying so hard to, what would you call it? Make it more interesting for myself. And if I didn't want to force myself to only do the redesign series, so I would try a different series. And you saw that too, that with the art fight series, I did a redesign series for my audience. Yeah, I was trying to shake it up, but I was still tired with it. Why am I an inconsistent artist? Fuck. Why am I an underrated artist? The simple answer is inconsistent art, not socializing often, and inconsistent posting. Yeah, and a sprinkle of not doing consistent trending art. But yeah, eventually I woke up and I tried to play the algorithms game, and you know what? That didn't suit me either. I got burned out, and every single time I would build up the momentum or would start to get more popular, I would ditch it because I can't keep making the same content over and over again. It's not me. So in my original video, I said this.
Someone who finds comfort and peace in solitude. I prefer taking my time, having my space, and doing things my way. I'm not interested in chasing trends or seeking the spotlight, and sometimes I just want to vibe. Not every artist is chasing clout, and some of us just want to find a genuine connection and a community.
And some parts of me still feel like that's true. Like, I do want a community for myself. I do want to chill most of the time. But I feel like it's much deeper than that. See, there's like two sides of me. There's one that seeks growth and wants to play the social media game. I mean, I did still study marketing because I enjoy marketing as a whole. I enjoy the strategy of it. I enjoy reading the data of the algorithms. That's something that I enjoy doing. But do I commit to it? No, because there's another side to me. There's an artistic side to me, and that's the background that I've come from. I enjoy the freedom to fully express myself and, just do art stuff. I love that about art. And those sides are always fighting each other, and, I think that's probably what's been holding me back the most, and it's what makes me get frustrated. And then I would say that has bled through how I engage with posting too. To explain, some parts of me just want to be selfish and post whatever I want and post the art that I want, and there's another part of me who wants to people please my fans and my audience. Because it's not one thing that has changed about me is that I don't want to be completely selfish in posting anymore, because I recognize the people who support me really support me, and I want to be that type of person who you go to my account and you get some value from it. You get some entertainment, some good stories to read. Like, I want to be that person for people because they gave back to me by supporting me. I want to do the same for them. So I'm always fighting those two parts of myself in my head because I generally do value you guys, but I get stuck thinking in that. But I really started to think about what I want to do in the future, and it starts with me forging my own path, because in order to control those two extremes, I need to find balance in it. I need to find that third option because I believe it is out there. I've studied marketing. I know what makes good content. And I've improved my art so much to the point that I can have a consistent art style, and I have a consistent device to post on. So I have everything's more consistent than it was years ago. So I think I can find my own path and do what suits me best. And I believe that third option starts with building the right community for myself, creating the right art, and expressing myself authentically. Also normalizing social media breaks, because damn it, I can't do it. I can't keep being online all the time. It is exhausting, it is not healthy, and I need my space. So that's something that can start with me. I'm doing it. We're gonna normalize social media breaks. But anyways, are you an underrated artist? If so, why do you think so? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe and click that bell notification.